Hey guys, it's Clint and Chelle.
Hi guys.
Mom's doing dishes. That was her order for today. Just kidding. Just kidding, guys. Don't yell. I'm revisiting a cover I did back in 2020. Holy smokes. Didn't realize it's been that long. Wasn't that a good one? You were proud of that one, wasn't you, babe? A flying geese pattern. But this cover, I really liked how it turned out, but it was wrong. This was my first attempt at ever doing a flying geese. That is not the way they're supposed to look. It cut off the tips or their heads, and that's not really the way it's supposed to happen. And I've done it since, and I did it right. Then I did it yesterday. I did a sample and I did it wrong, and then figured out again. But I did get it right on my sample. This is just a spring journal. I got my cutting board out, and yesterday I did a bunch of prepping. So these are, I don't know how many I've got of everything. I have a bunch of purples, and so I went ahead and I did a whole bunch yesterday, and just kind of, darn it, I need a new tip for my glue. It keeps pulling out of the, I don't know why it's doing that, but and really, I'm going to do them all at one time, so I'm going to be a mask make. Hey, I've never done a mask make, have I? I don't know if I have or not. True. Oh, yeah, it's one of those days. And I have my rotary cutter, and I was planning on a 5-inch square, if I remember right. This is 5 inches. Yes, it is. Okay. And since you guys know I do sew with a seam guide, I have to change the way I do things. So, because I can't really glue it right now, and you have to watch when, if you do it this way. You don't want to ever just go, sorry, I don't want to lose my cap. Just try to, it's a little off, I'm okay. You don't want to just go like that, like that. So, sorry, it's one of those days. This is a Creative Grids ruler. It is by far my favorite ruler. Okay. Did I what? No, I didn't. It's not the long one. I'm using the... So, yeah, I meant to spray my back of my rulers with rubbery crap. Non-slip. I have 2 bottles or spray cans of it. And so it feels like a rubbery material, but I like using, the Quilter Select is a very good ruler, don't get me wrong, and I have several of them. I've gotten to where I don't really like them that much, but the only reason is because of the color of it. I like to have that clear ruler. That the Creative Grids. So I only can do one at a time. So put all my. But I want to get all these done, and then I'll have to sew them. But I do like it's just nice to have that coating on the whole thing. I mean, it has coatings. they're little. You can kind of see it. It's a little foggy right where my finger is, and non-slip, but it's not rubbery. It's more of a, I don't know. But I do like using non-slip spray better, so I'll do that when I. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Sorry we didn't have a video.
We had one yesterday.
We had one yesterday, and today's didn't get up as quick. Just doing everything. Just
one of those things.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Trying to get back on track.
We're trying to get back on track. I know Chelle's really not having a very good morning. Been kinda, her neck is really bothering her. Sinuses and stuff. We think probably allergies, I imagine. But we're having a good day. It's what, 8:30 here? Oh, it's already 9. Wow. Why is it that late? We're supposed to get a snowstorm. Like Chelle said, believe it when we see it. But the jet stream is lower than, that's usually when we really get nailed, so we'll see. Got a really busy week. I've had several people call me for doing stuff, and with the weather, and it's supposed to be bad to, well, Thursday pretty much. So there's a couple days we're gonna have to drive in it no matter what, but I know all the back roads, so I can kind of stay away from the highway. Highway, of course, is usually the problem. So I bought a scanner to listen to especially when the storms. I'm not one of those that would have it on all the time. Mainly just when storms hit. I kind of like to know, especially with work. I mean, if the highway's closed, I need to know that. But we're kind of in a hole, so it really doesn't. Bring in a lot, so I did bring an antenna. I was hoping it's going to be here today, but we'll see before the weather gets too bad. I know it's supposed to be a colder week this week, so I don't even know if it's even. I think it's supposed to be 41 today. It was only like 38 yesterday, so and it's breezy out, so it's wind chill out there. If you sew with the seam guide, this is by far the easiest way to do it. And I don't pin, most of you guys know that. Since I do the seam guide, it's easier to use Roxanne's glue and baste. Or basting glue, I guess I should say. For me, it's a lot easier.
What?
Chloe's out, so she's been driving us bonkers. I don't think it helped having her there. So, just they're picking on her, and yeah. And so she's growling. And I've got, of course, I got the water bottle just over here. But, this was one that was going to be a different. When I looked at the picture, I thought how fun it would be to put something in the square in the center. And I had thought about this, and I had, it was from our fabric we just got at, sorry, I'm not in camera, our fabric that we just got at Stitch in Durango, but you can't border it. and it just wasn't going to work out. So I went out this morning to look at the embroidery pieces, or, other pieces, because that's just, I put sticky crap on it. It's just so flat, and it doesn't have a lot of character to it or anything, and it just wasn't, I just wasn't sold on it. So we did something different. So I'm hoping it will look really nice. I'm sure it will. Oh, I guess I should tell you, my lilacs are the purple is 2.5 inches. My squares are, and you'll see it, they are at 3 inches, so that it just, I don't know if you can use a rectangle that is 3 inches this way and 2.5. I don't know. I'll have to try it one of these days and just see how it looks. I'm not 100% sure. So Gracie's picking on Chloe, and it's just,
Well, but Grace would be right beside her.
Yeah. Well, Chloe was always getting picked on, and she just kind of turned her into a little bit of a pissy cat at times. But rightfully so. I mean, that's just when you have. Oh, I know. Chloe can't get there.
Huh?
My iron's on.
Oh, your iron's on.
Yeah.
Here, come here.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God. Driving me nuts.
Sophia?
Crap, where's my lid? Oh, Chloe, I know. Did you quit? I lost my lid. Where did you put it?
What lid?
My glue lid. Hi, Chloe. Could you please go? Okay, I got her up. So, I don't have to worry about that right now. Oh, did she?
Yeah, she's going to move Sophia, and Sophia screamed at her, and she said, fine, I'll just take my water and
Yeah, Sophia's being crabby too. So what I'm doing is chain piecing. Kind of saves you from having to, well, it saves you thread for work first and foremost. You don't have to. A little off from a quarter, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. I think my double check real quick. Oh, I don't have any scissors, do I? No, I got my big ones. Let me double check I think what happened is sometimes, especially, it can move your needle. Yep. If you push too hard on it. Perkins Perfect Piecing Seam Guide. And it is a blessing, and it does work. But like I said, you have to kind of be careful with it and not, when you're tightening your seam guide, it can move it a little bit. So, well, something's not right with this one. Everyone's having a good Saturday. Hope you find it to be a restful Saturday.
Tell Kathy June happy Saturday.
Hi Kathy June, happy Saturday. Why, what's Saturday?
She wrote me yesterday and said, Happy Saturday.
Oh, oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
I was thinking, uh-oh, it's already Saturday. I had to look and see.
This part is actually going to be cut off, so I'd probably just wanted to tug in that corner for some reason. It's not going to be perfect, but it will be trimmed, and that's the that will help. So. No, I'll have room to fudge a little bit, so I'm not too worried about it if it's not perfect, but try to do as straight as I can. Okay. For you right here. Make sure it's on spray and not. Yep. Make sure it's not on stream. I done that yesterday. Probably going to be off just a little bit. I see how bad it is, but it'll be fine. Like I said, they're not perfect, but it'll still look really nice, and I'm okay with that. And I don't have sticky crap on my fabric this time, since I'm having to iron it this way. Can't really, it'd be more of a pain to have sticky crap on it. I don't have much planned for today, like I said. I need to try to get out. Try to work on getting some aspen wood cut for blenders. I only have a little tiny bit of aspen. With the snow we have had here, it's just been rough to find, really. Hopefully pretty soon, though. Our snow's almost gone. And, we had like 4-foot drift in some spots. So, yeah, it was nice having it gone. It really was. I must say, I'm glad to see it out of here. Not looking forward to summer, but I'm just looking forward to warm up a little bit. Been such a hard winter as far as, like I say, I love the snow, and the cold really doesn't bother me. I know some people it does, but it's just been very isolating this year. So I am ready, I must admit. Try to start getting our garden and yard, and we got to do a roof, and just a lot to do. So definitely at that point. It will be nice for it to. We had so much rain, it really melted it off. This week's not going to be very warm at all. For the next, I don't know. Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty cool week. I mean, they're really talking about. I think the next, if it gets out of 40s or into the 40s, I'll be surprised, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, they're talking next, like the 28th or something. So when supposed to really be like 40, almost 50. But we'll see. Our weather is so hard to predict here on this side, well, this corner of Colorado, because with the way the mountains are and everything, we don't get the radar doesn't work very good here. Or the radars don't. So it's a little bit harder to some places. That's for sure. I'm just ready. Oh yeah, I went and checked mail yesterday. Wait, and we saw our first robin a few days ago, and just one, and we've never had tons here. But I was walking when I came up the driveway from the post office. I bet there was probably maybe 10 of them in all the trees. So that was so exciting.
Yeah, we only see like one or two a year.
Yeah, we just don't have tons of them in our yard. I mean, you do see them around here, but yeah, nothing like this. It was a very nice surprise to see them. Oh, I thought you were playing the game you were doing. But you're still working.
Yeah, because I thought, well, I'll finish them all.
Oh, yeah.
We use them, we don't have to finish them later.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so I went out to look for a different piece of embroidery, so she's actually doing that for me.
Crochet knot.
Yeah, I meant crochet. Well, I went out to look for embroidery, but didn't find any embroidery. I found a doily that I think is going to be really nice for the center of this one. Try not to... I crochet. I haven't for a while, but I always crochet doilies. It's very hard for me to cut up one because I know what they go in, how much time and what it takes to make them. But I look at you're breathing a new life in them, and that really should be what it's about. Yeah, it's, you know. I was talking about that non-slip glue. I was talking about the non-slip coating. I went and got the can. That's why ODIF, ODIF, grippy non-slip coating does not stain fabric. And what made me go get the can is my mat. I spray my mat. That way my fabric doesn't move on it. And it makes it much easier to do it that way. Especially this one. I sprayed it a couple times. But any mats I use, I will spray eventually. So, but that does make a big... It's such a help to do it that way. To use it, But yeah, I spray my mats with it. That's Mr. Arctic. Arctic. Sorry, he's talking. I think he's so funny. You talk about a cat that has a schedule. He usually sleeps till around 8. Sometimes he'll be up early, but it's really rare. And he's up for a while and then he goes back. But yeah, he is definitely a creature of habit. I think he's got an eternal clock. Some cats do, some cats don't. He definitely has. He knows when it's treat time, and it's annoying, yeah. Not for me, because I'm not the one that gives treats, so at least those treats. So, but yeah, he is a definite. He definitely has an internal clock. And you see it too. It's funny, but
Sometimes his clock is wrong.
yeah, his clock is wrong sometimes, but not. That one's a little bit off right here. But once I sew it, I want to make sure this piece is straight on the stuff, so I'm not too worried about it. But it definitely. For some reason my mind wasn't working. Couldn't think what I was doing there. Why am I having such a... There we go. Still off. There we go. It's right here. Talking about working on her cathedral window, so I've been giving her some fabric. likes my scraps as I'm doing this project. Hopefully she does. Thank you, beautiful. So I will show you guys real quick. I know you saw her hand go right there. Okay. So I'm talking about right here in the center is where I was going to put that butterfly. But when I went out to look for embroidery, I found these pansies. Purple and white. I found 4 of them. And I think more likely I'm going to have room for 3 in that center. That's what I'm hoping, you know, like that or something. So hopefully it will work. I'm sure it will. But I won't know until I really get to messing with it. Gotta stay so far away from the wall or I hit my hand with my handle of my sewing machine. Most of you know I sew with sorry guys. This is a 1916 Singer Model 66 and please don't go out of my needle. They call it a red eye. Lovely, that's what they nicknamed it right here. The red eyes. Red, yeah. But I love both Chelle and I love Asleep at the Wheel. And one of my favorite songs that they do, it's not necessarily, it's not their song, but it's a Bob Wills song, is Ida Red. So her name is Ida Red, is what I named my sewing machine, and it was, I say born in December 1st, 1916, or December 31st, 1916 is what I say. But I know it's just an inanimate object, but yeah, that's the way I do it. And I love this sewing machine. It has been an amazing sewing machine. It's been such a joy to use. And I always imagine the people who've touched it, and, you know, what all the ladies sewed on it. And that means a lot to me. I've always been one that I love antiques, and I have I don't know, 4 or 5 vintage coats that I have, and like one of them is I don't wear it very well. I very rarely wear it. It was Pioneer Sportwear out of Canada, and I think it was part of Woolrich. Isn't that the? Yeah, Woolrich. I don't know how it was, if it was the Canadian version of Woolrich, I don't know. But anyway, it was back from the 40s, and it was and it still is in an excellent shape, but it's 100% virgin wool, and it's a tad bit, not a tad bit, it's flat itchy, and you have to wear a long sleeve shirt with it. I just don't wear it, but it still had, whoever had it, he had worn it camping. There were still matches in the pocket. It's a cape, what they call a cape coat, but it's a beautiful. Someday I'll have to show it to you. But I keep it hung up. But it's a beautiful coat. But when you think, you know, that's almost 80 years ago, it just blows me away. I just love vintage things. I don't know if I have an old soul or what. But yeah, so I enjoy using the old sewing machine. My mom's the one she gave me is a Model 99. They call it the little sister to this one. This thing is heavy, like super heavy. And the Model 99 isn't. I've actually used it on the channel a long time ago, but it's froze on me. It locked up. So I think we're going to try to take it in this week. I'm going to put it in the car so I remember to take it to Stitch, because that's our repair place. I meant to grab my scissors from Honey Bunny. No, I'm alright. I'll just use my big ones. And take it in and have him get it fixed. Trying to decide. We're really talking about me moving out in the studio, but I don't know exactly what that's going to entail. Because, you know, I don't do just junk covers. I call them treasure covers. But I also quilt, so I do piecing. And I love to use this one for that. And so I'm torn whether or not to take it in with me to the shed, to the studio or not, but we'll see. But we'll see. You can tell it's slightly off right there, but like I said, I'm not really too terribly. So let me grab my picture real quick. Well, I'll show you the picture again and I'll explain what I did wrong. Hopefully, if you haven't ever done a flying geese, that you'll remember what I did wrong. I can show you, and then that way my memory's not what it used to be, so I'll have a hard time remembering exactly, especially if I haven't done them for a while. So I want to show you guys what I found. And yeah, you guys know how much I love fabric. I just absolutely love to quilt, and piecing by far is my favorite thing to do. Probably why Chelle has me do the covers so much, but I love the covers. Yeah, I just love to see, you know, come to fruition, and like our secret journaling spots, and like that one I did in the cover. You know, I mean, I just love that idea, and it came out so cool. And now I know they're not perfect, but that's not a big deal, because I'm gonna have to they have to be trimmed no matter what. So my covers are 9.5 normally by 14. So I'll show you. Okay. Sorry. My poor table is so crowded. It drives me nuts, but it is what it is. I have my Woodbring, and I just haven't done any biography in forever. But I plan on it. I love to do it. So, go ahead and use this is the selective ruler I was telling you about. But I want to make sure. So here is, this ruler's 3.5, and I got my 1/2 inch mark here to make 2.5, and it's going to cut off part of my purple, but it's going to straighten that edge out. Sorry. I'm going to come in and do the same thing here, so I don't have any. That way it looks nicer. The straighter they are, the easier they are to piece, because all these are going to be pieced together. So The other cover, if you noticed, I did the center was the square, and the center was actually on the spine. And I could have done that, but I really didn't want to. I kind of, especially if you do so. I mean, it was okay for that, considering I didn't have anything going on. But with having the pansies and stuff in the center of it, you wouldn't be able to showcase if it was on the spine. So that's kind of my reasoning on how I'm doing it. So that one's a little off, but it's going to be fine. Not too worried about it. Grand scheme of things, it will work out. All this will be, just a little tiny piece will be cut off. So I wasn't too sure how many to do, actually. I'm not planning on doing any more, though. I'm planning on making it with what I sewed, cut out, did, and go from there. But yeah, I'm not planning on doing any more of these. I'm gonna range them. Know that. Now, I'm off here probably by, oh, it's not much at all. Maybe a 16th of an inch, it's not bad. But once I glue it, it'll be fine. So that's having the grippy stuff on my cutting mat. It really does hold on to the fabric, and it's really nice to do, to use. As you can see. Okay. Well, let me, before I, just want to make sure that they are 5 inches long, or at least they're all the same width. Hi, Lucy, sweetie pie. Poor baby, she's not feeling very good. Her appointment's Wednesday. See, this one's just a tiny bit off, and I could actually come in and do, you know, 2.5 here, but I'm not going to worry about that. It'll be fine. They should be all pretty darn close. So that one's off, but it's curved right there too. So just a little tiny bit to where I measured it. So not too. Now that one's shorter. Why would it be too? Of course, it could be that, so that might be. See, it's right there. That's 5 inches on that side, so it will work. Yep. I don't have a piece of interface. I'm actually not really looking to do anything yet anyway. So I know for sure I want to have 2 of these together. They are off, but what I'm going to do is put my points together. And so, let me grab my. So I want to make sure this one is my center. But as long as my points come together, they'll be fine. So, yeah, I saw that. So funny. Boy, Lucy loves to play with Mama's hands. She come up and all of a sudden you hear her, she hears her moving her hand. She can be somewhere else, and then all of a sudden, she's attacking. She's already on the couch attacking her. So, make sure my seams are lined up, and they are. This is the only one I'm doing that way, so you can tell right there, bad. And then the others, so let me sew that one together, and then we'll go from there. Sorry guys, my piece covers take a lot longer to do. Just because, probably me, I really want it to be good. Yeah, sorry guys, I know it's going to be, I'm going to try not to, we'll see what happens with this second video. I mean, mainly the part that's most important right now is to okay. Yeah, I don't want these to, what? Not too bad. I'm happy with that. Wow. There's my point. They are right. Huh?
Perfect.
So, and like you guys know how I am about being, I don't like to use the word, I am a definite perfectionist. But, that's okay. So let me see. So this is going to be what, maybe about a 4.5 inch, and of course it's going to be 5 inches here, which that's alright. I'll trim those down if I have to, but right now I want it to be right. So let me take this, and we know my points are right, so I'm going to point and do it this way. I'm hoping that will help me line my, actually let me move it just a tiny bit off point since I'm using a pin. Like so. That hopefully will help me line my point up then. So let me, well, we know the most part that, do it this way. Hopefully, if I do it right here, that should give me the right point to pull in. Should be good. So I'm going to do different. I'm not going to have them I'm going to have them fly in towards square. trying to get at? So we know the front of the cover, it's going to have a 2-inch spine. That means it's going to have 6-inch so hopefully that's going to be pretty close to being right on the money. But we know I have a 6-inch front cover. Is how wide it's going to be. So I only want to do one Flying Geese. Hopefully, I'm going to try to go ahead and make sure I have at least a partial border. That way, good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise, which I think we told, did we tell them all we had, oh, well, there was, one highway closed, I think we told you about that,
I don't think I told them about that time. It snowed for a few minutes and then,
Yeah, culvert we had, well, we have a culvert that is
oh yeah, I didn't tell them about it.
Flooded. It collapsed and it's flooded. So they had to close the highway, which it is a through highway, I guess is what you would say, but kind of. Okay, so far I think my points are pretty close to being on. They're a tiny bit off, but you know, I mean, but anyway, we have, and then we have a county road by Cortez, just north of Cortez, and it had a washout and a Jeep, 4-door Jeep, nosedive in it. It was in a dip, so it's pretty deep. Oh yeah, so that road is closed, and then we found there was one in Dove Creek, which is our town north of us. It froze. I mean, we had had flooding issues with it too. It was a mess, I tell you. Yeah.
So I have that 5-hour.
Yeah, we had that 5-hour delay Sunday because of a little tiny snowstorm that just was, oh yeah. Yeah, it was a nightmare. Just because that snowstorm, it really was a nightmare. Oh yeah, it was, but that's okay. It did turn out, you know, but it was just like, oh Lord, really? So this one's off. Let me try to make sure I get my straight there. Fairly straight. Like I said, it's not, I know it's not perfect, but just trying to make it as accurate as I can. Yeah, but we had a 5-hour, Sunday was a 5-hour shutdown. We had about, maybe at the most, a half hour of snow. It was a snow squall came up. Oh Lord, was it a nightmare. And it did it. We had power when that day. We had a semi hit a power line, power poles. And because of that, we have it was shut down there for it and another one. It was a nightmare. I'm not kidding you. We had so much we had that wreck up north of us, and then we had two on the south side of town, which I mean on the south side of town, Cahone Creek. It's about, Not a mile, really. We had it. It was shut down. We had 2 wrecks. One of them was hanging off the edge. It's a fairly deep hole, creek. So we had it, and then we had another car slide, and that one was... So we had 2 in the same spot there. Then we had, I think, 3. We had a vehicle sideswipe a semi, and yeah, we had probably maybe, I would say probably, 7 or 8 wrecks because of that. That's the snow squall. It was a nightmare. But man, I mean, they had vehicles parked everywhere. They were stopping them in Cortez to keep them from coming up the highway. They had them. Oh, it was a nightmare. And that Monday, we had to go to town, and it was done Monday. And we thought, well, let's go look at the semi truck, because they couldn't get it because of all the rain and snow, mud. So we drove up, and Empire Electric was still working there on it. It was a nightmare. Tell you, people don't realize, and they're heroes. I mean, we are utility workers. What it takes, it just blows me away. And power workers are just incredible. They're in their buckets in, sub-zero weather and howling winds, and you just don't realize what it takes to do that job. And had to be out in middle of the night working, marking my stuff so nothing gets cut, and but boy, the utility, the power workers are just absolute heroes in my book. Wish more people would see that, because they really are. Most people would not work in the conditions they do. So I'll probably go ahead and I want to get these done before I end the video, because it just, like I said, I don't know how. Right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow, boy, that's way off right there, but. Well, I know that so in order for it to be right, it has to be, there we go, like that. Make sure it's straight. Yeah, I've been in sub-zero wind chills, 30 below, trying to mark fault lines, so for emergencies, water leaks and everything. It's just, tell you, it does take a toll on your body. People that work, especially, they know what it means for the power to be out, or any of your services to be out, and try to do their best to keep that from happening. It's extremely important. Fortunately, some locators don't understand that, but it is. A lot relies on being right, Learn it. Hopefully you learn really quick that, yeah, it can be very dangerous and harmful, to not do your job properly. see what we're at real quick. I'm at 10 inches. Well, 10 and a half for the most part. So, which means I will have hopefully I will have a border. I really want another border. So let me get my pen and my ruler. For those of you who don't know, these are heat erasable pens. They are so nice to have. I love having them, but it just makes life so much easier. Trying to just make sure it's pretty straight. Then I'll show you how I'm going to do the pansies. Someone said blow their horn. Too early, I think, for someone to get married. But you never know. I didn't think a person would be getting married this early in the day. We do get a lot of chuckers blowing the horns. I think it's mainly for deer. Shelle's snoring. So if you hear anything, that's what it is, just so you know. So don't panic, nothing's happened. She's just tired. She's really hurting. Her neck is so bad right now. And I did do the heat thing on her neck before we went to bed, but she did take a muscle relaxer, so, and nose knock her on her butt. So she is extremely tired. So bad when she gets that way, because it just, you know, when you're in a very loving relationship, it's extremely hard to see someone you love hurt and not really, you know, be able to take that pain away. I mean, I prayed that, you know, God can put it on me, that's okay, I can handle it. You know, I'm more happy, would rather put it on my shoulders than hers. Now I really wanted a border. Now we'll get my fabric in a minute to show you why I don't have it cut, because I will be right back. So let's see how long it is real quick. Like I said, I definitely wanted a border. I'm going to end up having to straighten it just so. We're looking at right at 13. Well, just shy of 13. So it will have an edge border on it. So that is, let me see. This is what I was thinking, something like maybe this. And it don't really, maybe something like that. Maybe it's kind of, I think that would be so pretty. And this is the border fabric that I'm going to use. In my iPad it shows that it's blue. It's definitely not blue. I'm pretty sure it shows its true color though when it's on YouTube. It's a beautiful, deep purple. And I think doing that, it's going to be very nice. It's not going to have a, it's going to have a thick border on top and fairly thin border, but I got to have enough to fold over the edges, stick on them in the around the interfacing. So, well, guys, I'm gonna call it good. Chelle needs to get this downloaded and everything. we got some other stuff going on. So we're going to let you go. Thank you for being part of our YouTube family. Please give the video a thumbs up and hit the subby button, please. And once again, thank you to all our new family members. We thank you for joining us and spending time with us. We do appreciate that. We're going to let you go. I'm going to wake up my honey bunny and get her to download the video. Thanks again, and thank you for visiting. We'll talk to you guys later. Tutzines.